I am welcoming you again in the introduction to the SciLab, basic of SciLab. That is the day 2. We have completed the installation and how to insert variables. So now here you may have the question that why this 1 2 semicolon 3 4 writes this 3 4 in the next row. The semicolon is for to changing the rows. For example, let me write this D is equals to 1 2 semicolon 3 4. Then it is displaying in this way. But if I remove this semicolon, let's see what happens. It is displaying that these two things are together, so it is displaying as the one entry, and the other entries are 1 and 4. Now if I put the space there and see what happens, then it is displaying that 1 2 3 and 4, that is 4 entries. That is the row vector. Now if I want I do everywhere the semicolon, then it will insert as a column vector. All the entries are in column. So the semicolon is to change the corresponding row. Or let me see what happens if I just insert 1 2 semicolon 3 only and not writing the anything else. Then it will say that inconsistent row or row and column dimension. So in the first row you are having 1 2, in the other row you are having only 1 entries. In first row you are having 2 entries, and second row you are having only 1 entries, and that is not allowed. So that is the one thing. If I write this way also, it will display the same error. But still, see, I have made this mistake. Still, the D's value is as it is, the previous one, since this was not stored. But the previous data is removed. So whenever you will use this same variable again and again, the value will be changed. Okay, I have stored this as a capital D, and if I go for the small d, then it will say that undefined variable D. So this SciLab is, again you can say that, case sensitive. Okay, now if I want to store sum of the vector as a D2 is equals to 1 2 comma 3 4, then it will store that D2 is equals to this. Now if I want to store it as a 2D, then it will say that you have done some mistake, that is 2 and D are not to be together. D2 is allowed, but 2D is not allowed. Why? Because whatever variable you want to store, that should be start with the alphabets. You can write small d2, that is well allowed. Okay, let's see, 2 1 4 5, then it will be stored. But you cannot start with the value number for inserting the variables. Now if I make this way, that is 2 star D is equals to this, that is also not allowed. For example, if I do this way, then it will be stored that D factorial is now stored as a variable. So such symbols are allowed. Again, if you start with the factorial then it will automatically cancel that. And if you will use the @ that also is not allowed. But if you insert @ here, then also it is not allowed. So all characters are not allowed in general. For example, dollar is allowed, but if again you start with the dollar at the beginning, that will be stored. But if you start with the factorial and just press enter, it will not store. So at the beginning of the variable, the factorial is not allowed, but at the end that is valid. dollar and all the other characters are accepted, but at the rate is not accepted. For example, let me write here and it will say it is the error. So you have to be precise that which variables are allowed and which is not while inserting variables. See, now I am having this much variables. For example, I call B and it is already stored as 5, so it's giving me 5. Now if I forget that what variables I have stored and all, that can be called from this variable browser, but if I want that all these entries should be clear, one thing is go here, press it and delete or modify whatever you want. You can export it as to CSV file also, but you can plot the matrix also if you want. But let me say that if I want to delete each and every variable at a time, then command is CLEAR, that is clear. So just pressing by clear, all this data is now gone. But still I can call all of my vectors whatever I have used by just pressing up arrows, because that is stored in the command history. So I have called this D from this command history. If I don't want this also because it looks too much clumsy, you can press right click there and do the clear history and it will clear each and everything. Now as I will press up, it will just display me this, so it is no more anything there. Let's say A is equals to 1 2 3 4 matrix, and B, let me store small a. Okay, so you can say that the two things are going to be different, even letters are capital and small. So capital A is this, small a is this. Let me say that A and B, capital A and small b, small a's addition I want to be stored as B. Then B is equals to capital A plus small a, and see the answer, that is A 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 4 is 7, and 4 plus 5 is 9. If I want to make a multiplication of these two matrices, then let me store C as A multiplied with the small a matrix, and it will give me the matrix multiplication. See, A 1 2 3 4 multiplied with 2 3 4 5 is this answer. Okay, now if I go for means I want the pointwise multiplication, means 1 is multiplied with 2, that is 2 is multiplied with 3 is multiplied with 4, and 4 is multiplied with 5. Then the command is A dot star A. Then in that case it will give me the pointwise multiplication. See, pointwise multiplication is, for example, here 4 and 5, so 4 times 5, that is 20, so it is displayed here 20. So you can use these techniques to do the matrix multiplication and the pointwise multiplication. Let me recall that D is this. If I go for C is equals to A star D, you know that A is 2 cross 2 matrix and D is 4 cross 1 matrix, so its matrix multiplication is not possible. Let's see what output is there. Inconsistent row and column dimension. That matrix multiplication is not possible. If I go for the pointwise multiplication, then also it will say that it is not possible because the dimension are not going to be matched. Okay, let me store A is equals to 1 2 3 4 and B is equals to 2 3 4 5. See, I have done the semicolon here, so A is not in output, but after B I haven't put the semicolon, so B is there in output. But if I want to check that A is completely stored, I can see this. Yes, A is stored. If in this operation I will just perform this semicolon, then A and B are stored, but it is not output. Okay, now if I do the A star B, I want to perform this matrix multiplication. You know that it is not possible, so it will display that inconsistent row and column dimension. But if I want to perform the pointwise multiplication, then it is possible. You know that this is also 1 cross 4 and this is also 1 cross 4. So pointwise multiplication is possible and it will display the pointwise multiplication's answer. Okay. So while doing this, means any command, you have to be clear that the corresponding dimensions are proper. And whenever you get this, make sure that you have done something wrong, like the dimensions are not proper, means either the matrix multiplication is not possible, or whatever multiplication or addition you have performed or said, that is not possible. Okay. So you have learned two things, that if you want to do a matrix multiplication, just command is A star B, and if you want a pointwise multiplication, command is A dot star B. Okay, and if you want addition and subtraction, that is clear, that is A plus B, that will give you addition pointwise, and A minus B, then it will give you the subtraction pointwise. Now let me recall A, and I want to multiply each and every entry by some fixed constant, that is 5, for example. So command is 5 star A, and it will multiply each and every entry by 5. Or you can do that A star 5. What happens? The answer is same. Okay. So you can use this to multiply each and every entry by this. You may feel that it is row vector, that's why only that is happening. Let's see. A is 1, 2, 3, 4, and perform the same operation. Each and every entry, even of the all rows and columns, will be multiplied with 5. Okay, so to multiply each and every entry, you are having this. Now, as I have said you that I want to change the first entry of this matrix, I can go to the variable browser, open it, and replace this 1 by, for example, 5, and just close it. Now my A is that. But what if I want to change by without going to this variable browser, by command? Command is A11. First of all, what is the A11? That will give me answer that currently A11 is 5. For example, let's see that A12, that is 2. A13, let's check what happens. It will say that it invalid index because this is 2 cross 2 matrix, so there is no other third column. What is the 2, 1 entry? That is 3, that is again known, and 2, 2 entry, that is 4. Now if I want to replace the first entry, let me call A again so I can see that. I want to replace the first entry, that is A11, by the other value, for example 10. Just press that A11 is equals to 10 and that entry will be changed. Let's see A22. I want to change this A22 to be 5. So currently it is 4. Let's replace it by 5. So it will replace that 5. So that is the other way to change the entries. One, as I have said, that go to the command variable browser and replace the entries, or by command you can change in this way. So we are pausing this session here. Try to do this type of process in your PC, and if you are getting any problem, inform me. I will explain you and help you. Thank you.